Archangel Michael's June 11th warning. They are closer than you think. Stay alert now. Hear now the sound of warning, echoing not from men, but from the high places. June 11th is not an ordinary date circled on a calendar. It is a divine checkpoint, a spiritual intersection, where heaven interrupts time to speak to the discerning. It is not random. It is not coincidental. The Lord of hosts has permitted Archangel Michael to descend once again, not with comfort, but with caution, not with peace, but with piercing precision. This is a sacred announcement, sealed in heavenly fire and released only to those whose spirits have stayed awake amidst the sleeping crowd. This warning, child of light, is not for everyone. It is not for the curious, nor for the comfortable. It is for the spiritually vigilant, the ones who know the sound of silent warfare, who feel the tremor in the spirit before the blow ever lands in the natural. It is for those whose ears still tremble when heaven whispers, whose discernment burns quietly in the face of deceptive smiles and shallow applause. You, yes, you, have been sensing it. The unrest, the eyes, the silence that feels too loud, the presence of something that should not be near. That's not paranoia. That's the Holy Spirit sounding the internal alarm. You are being alerted before you're attacked. Heaven never warns without reason. Archangel Michael has stepped forward now with his sword unsheathed, his wings unfurled, his voice echoing with authority. He does not speak lightly. This warning was not drawn from prophecy books or human interpretation. It has come from divine instruction, issued under the weight of eternal strategy. Someone near you, someone seemingly insignificant, carries concealed spiritual intent. Their posture may appear innocent, but their spirit has made contact with darkness. And darkness seeks to observe your light, to mimic it, to dilute it, to disturb it, but it cannot destroy it. You are not paranoid, you are perceptive. And the Lord is confirming what your spirit has already discerned. You've been called to pause, to be still, to incline your ear to what your flesh cannot perceive. For heaven is whispering to your spirit, yes, even now. This is not the season to explain or to prove. It is the season to listen, to obey, and to stand under the covering of divine secrecy. Michael's presence signifies war, and yet in this war your weapons are not carnal, they are spiritual. Silence, obedience, discernment. These are the blades of the wise. Do not move unless heaven moves. Do not speak unless the Spirit instructs you. For what is approaching is not just a test, it is a sacred unveiling. You must stay sharp now. You must remain holy now. You must be still and alert. This message is the trumpet call for the vigilant. Let the spiritually blind continue scrolling. Let the mockers laugh. But you, yes, you, feel the fire. You feel the urgency. You know this is not just another day. June 11th is a line drawn in the invisible realm. On one side, complacency. On the other, consecration. Type I am chosen in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 666 is now surrounding you. Hear now, not with your ears, but with your spirit. Archangel Michael speaks, not as a distant figure of ancient scripture, but as heaven's present sentinel, standing at the edge of your battlefield with a sword drawn in divine urgency. His voice cuts through the noise of your mind and lands in your soul with weight. In the next 72 hours, everything becomes clearer. Let no man, no distraction, no argument dull your attention, for what he speaks now is not poetic, it is prophetic. What he reveals is not optional, it is essential. The heavens have shifted. The spirit realm has already begun to move. While you were sleeping, while you were laughing, while you were scrolling, there was a disturbance. Not in your schedule, but in the spirit. You felt it. The interruptions in your peace. A sudden emotional weight that comes out of nowhere. The moments where everything feels off, though you can't explain why. That is not coincidence. That is not mood. That is not emotional imbalance. That is spiritual interference. You are being watched, not just by man, but by spirits sent to sabotage your progress. Michael speaks with clarity. They smile in your face, but they plot in secret. And you've noticed the way some have changed toward you. The conversations that felt strained. A presence that suddenly felt foreign. You weren't imagining the shift. You weren't overreacting. Your spirit was testifying of what your mind could not yet prove. You are not crazy. You are covered. Covered by the discernment of the Holy Spirit. Covered by the wings of heavenly hosts who move when you pray, who war when you fast, who guard when you go silent. This message is not for the spiritually lazy. It is not for the emotionally distracted. It is not for those who chase signs but reject silence. This message is for the awakened ones, the watchers, the feelers, the ones who haven't fit in for years because heaven marked them for more. You've been asking why you feel so off, why certain people suddenly pull away, why doors seem harder to open. You've asked heaven for an answer. And here it is. The shift has begun. The spirit world has changed its posture concerning you. And so must you. Invoke silence now. Invoke stillness. And most of all, invoke the spirit of discernment. Your greatest weapon in the next 72 hours will not be your voice. It will be your restraint. Your power will not be seen in how loud you are, but how obedient you become. The enemy wants a reaction, not a revelation. Do not give them what they want. Give heaven your full attention. This is not the moment to be social. This is not the season to be accessible. This is the hour of consecration. Michael stands between you and what stalks you now. And yes, something stalks you. Not with fangs, not with claws, but with curiosity wrapped in familiarity. A familiar face. A known voice. A pattern you've already seen once before. But now, it returns disguised as connection. Be not deceived. The enemy is bold, but heaven is bolder. And Archangel Michael stands on your right hand, flaming sword in hand, whispering not fear, but strategy. You must not react. You must not retreat. But you must remain aware. A revelation is coming. And when it arrives, you will know that heaven warned you. That the Spirit of the Lord did not leave you blind. That the disruption in your peace was not weakness, but a warning. You've prayed for protection. This is it. This is that protection. Not a shield you can hold, but a word you must obey. Let every ear that can hear what the Spirit is saying. You are in the midst of divine intelligence. You are walking through spiritual reconnaissance. And God is about to expose every hidden motive, every subtle betrayal, every counterfeit connection. Stay still. Stay sharp. Stay silent. The 72-hour window has opened. The unveiling has begun. The line is being drawn. Do not be caught talking when you should be listening. Do not be caught posting when you should be praying. Do not be caught defending yourself when heaven is already defending you. There is a heavenly silence that is louder than any scream, and you are standing in that silence now. Type "I am anointed" in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 1122 is now activated. They came suddenly, Those strange emotions, those late-night heavinesses, those unspoken griefs that seemed to fall from nowhere. It's like something sat on your chest while you slept. Like something cold brushed past your spirit when you were just trying to get through your day. You noticed it, didn't you? You thought it might be stress. You thought maybe it was fatigue. But Archangel Michael declares, it is a sign. Heaven has begun alerting you through mystery, through emotion, through divine deception. You've had dreams, unsettling ones. Faces you haven't seen in years showing up without warning. Old wounds appearing in new scenes. You've woken up feeling watched, disoriented. Sometimes even heavy with tears you couldn't explain. These dreams are not accidents. These are surveillance alerts from your spiritual realm. Heaven is giving you intel. When God wants to protect, He reveals through discomfort. What you've been calling random disturbance is actually angelic notification. Your spirit has picked up on it. Someone's energy shifted. Their tone. Their glance. The way they didn't respond. The way they overcompensated. The long pause before they spoke. The awkward silence that didn't exist before. These were not social cues. These were spiritual interruptions. Your spirit spoke louder than their words. Heaven allowed your atmosphere to be disrupted so you wouldn't fall into the trap of trusting what is not true. Your discernment hath been sharpened through confusion. Yes, confusion was allowed to provoke clarity. And hear this, your name hath been whispered in places of envy, not shouted, not cursed aloud, whispered, mentioned quietly, with tones that seem innocent but intentions that carry weight. Heaven heard it, that conversation, that questioning of your motives, that sideways comparison, that subtle tear down. They know just enough to be dangerous, but not enough to be divine, says Michael. And so, God is restraining your exposure to them, not as punishment, but as protection. There's been a look, a silence, a moment that seemed off. That was your sign. That was your confirmation. Stop waiting for betrayal to prove itself fully. Recognize the vibration before the violation. The betrayal hasn't happened yet, but the thought has. And God is showing you the seed before it grows into sabotage. You're being called to spiritual watchfulness, not emotional reaction. You must understand, spiritual disruption often manifests emotionally first. A burst of sadness, that spontaneous anger, that need to isolate. Those weren't random emotional crashes. Those were spiritual breaches, attempts from the enemy to rattle your perception, to distract your clarity. And yet, even in those interruptions, heaven was present. Angels have been walking through your home. They've been covering your bed while you sleep. They've been touching your forehead when you feel anxiety rise. You are not losing your mind. You are being spiritually rewired. The presence of warfare is not the absence of favor. It is often the loudest confirmation that your light hath been located. You carry a sound in the spirit, a signature that hell cannot imitate and cannot ignore. They see it. They feel it. And they don't know how to approach it, so they try to disrupt it. They create confusion because they cannot create clarity. They agitate what they cannot access. This season is teaching you that not all strange behavior is emotional. Some of it is spiritual camouflage. People are not always themselves when jealousy is hiding in their heart. And some are not even aware they've been influenced. But your spirit knows. That chill you felt. That withdrawal. That sudden pull back. That wasn't personal. It was prophetic. You must not ignore it. You must not over-explain it. You must simply recognize it, honor it, and adjust accordingly. Heaven is not asking you to confront. He's asking you to perceive. The warning signs are real, and your obedience to what you feel now will protect you from what's coming later. If this message resonates with you and you feel moved to support, consider giving a super thanks with contributions of up to $20. Your kindness helps us bring more powerful content your way. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe to the channel for spiritual alerts, divine insight, and messages that guard your purpose. Don't miss the next shift. Type I am awake in the comments if you receive this message. Blessing code 333 is now protecting you. You must stop seeing this as random drama. You must stop calling this just life. Archangel Michael declares with authority, this is war, not with swords, not with fists, but with spirit and strategy. Heaven needs you to reframe this moment. What's happening around you? What's disrupting your peace? What's making you second-guess your path? These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. You stepped into a territory your enemies thought you'd never reach, and now their spirits are reacting before their mouths can. This is not about your personality. It's about your purpose. Your presence is offensive to those who have agreed with darkness. Not because of what you've said, not because of how you've acted, but because of what you carry. You are a divine contradiction to their comfort. Your light disrupts their shadows. Your elevation provokes their insecurity. Your movement threatens their stagnancy. The attacks are not signs of your failure. They are evidence of your rising. The moment you step out of who you were, all hell received the memo. You shifted dimensions. You exited agreement with smallness. And now, your very presence carries spiritual weight. Every room you enter adjusts. Every conversation you join carries unseen consequence. This is why people look at you strangely. This is why some can't speak to you directly. This is why tension surrounds you even when you've done nothing wrong. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. The pain you're experiencing is not for destruction. It's for discipline. God is not allowing chaos to break you. He is using chaos to reveal who's really with you and who's just near you. Every storm is a sieve. Every conflict is a filter. And in this season, heaven is filtering your circle so your next season won't carry silent assassins into your breakthrough. The chaos has meaning. Don't run from it. Don't escape it. Study it. Who disappeared when things got dark? Who changed their tone when you succeeded? Who pretended to support you but never really celebrated you? These answers were found in the fire. God allowed discomfort so you could detect dishonor. Michael says, clarity always costs comfort. And here's a mystery. God is not just watching your enemies. He's watching your reaction. He is studying your response to provocation. He is weighing your heart when you are misunderstood. He is seeing if you will trust his vindication or demand your own. Heaven moves faster for those who move in obedience. And in this moment, obedience looks like silence, discipline, and wisdom. Your battle is not against flesh and blood. It's not about them. It never was. It is about the assignment on your name. The war is over your influence, over your next mantle, over the impact you will have once fully unlocked. Hell has not targeted you for who you are. It has targeted you for who you're becoming. You are transitioning from wounded to weapon, from observer to overcomer. And the turbulence around you is not a sign to retreat. It is a sign to anchor deeper. This conflict is not emotional. It is spiritual. And God is letting it shake so he can show you who stands and who scatters. Michael's sword is drawn, not for vengeance but for defense. His presence signifies heaven's seriousness about your assignment. You are not walking alone. You are being shadowed by heavenly intelligence. Your enemies think they're targeting you. They don't know they're targeting the anointed. And heaven does not stay silent when its chosen ones are harassed. So lift your head. Don't mislabel this moment. This is not drama. This is divine disruption. Your assignment is about to intensify. Your circle is about to reduce. Your clarity is about to sharpen. And your spirit is about to rise. Type "I will not bow" in the comments if you receive this word. Blessing code 555 has entered your atmosphere. The wind has already begun to shift, even if the trees haven't yet bowed in response. In the quiet, the unseen moves first. And now, with clarity and precision, Archangel Michael declares, "They are closer than you think." This is not about fear. It's about foresight. The Spirit of the Lord is issuing a timed alert, not to cause panic, but to birth preparedness. Within 72 hours, the mask will begin to slip. The subtle shift will no longer be hidden. A friendly face will flinch. A supportive voice will falter. Their cover is thinning, and heaven is making sure you see it. What you feel right now is not imagination, it is detection. The enemy has stepped onto the outer edges of your atmosphere, hoping to test the borders of your discernment. They're not launching an obvious attack. Not yet. Instead, they are knocking lightly on doors you thought were shut. They are nudging your emotions, prodding your heart through conversation, trying to reactivate old wounds as entry points. They are watching how you respond to delay, to emotional pressure, to confusion. Every moment feels slightly off, doesn't it? That's not an accident. It's surveillance. Expect strange calls, messages from people you thought you had peace with, unexpected emotional surges that hit you mid-ask, sudden cancellations, odd delays, quiet tension in places that once felt safe. These aren't coincidences. These are signals. Michael reveals that someone is testing your boundary, quietly, persistently, under the guise of normalcy. They are trying to see how close they can get to your core again without you noticing. But heaven has already marked them. Your discernment is not lying to you. What your spirit detects is more accurate than what their smile pretends to be. Michael speaks again. Watch. Don't react. Not yet. There is something greater unfolding. What's coming is not destruction, but exposure. This is why silence has been your companion lately. This is why you felt the urge to withdraw. Heaven is silencing your mouth so your eyes can truly see. And what will be revealed is not just about them. It is about the hidden motives God needed you to see before the next promotion. Because what you don't realize is that this next level of your life cannot carry familiar sabotage disguised as comfort. God is not punishing you with this tension. He is protecting you with revelation. He is showing you what they don't say, what they never admitted, what they always hid. Your tears have been divine indicators. Your exhaustion has been a spiritual alarm. And the resistance you've been encountering is not a coincidence. It is confirmation that you've walked into a season that demands cleaner access points. Don't react. Don't explain. Don't try to prove your worth to those who already decided your presence was inconvenient. This is not the moment for validation. It's the moment for vigilance. Watch how they respond to your silence. Watch how they react when they can't reach you. Watch how your peace irritates their chaos. That's where the truth is hiding. You don't need to confront them. Heaven will. You don't need to defend yourself. Michael already stands between you and what stalks you. You will know them by their pattern, not by what they post, not by what they say when others are watching, but by how they behave when they think God isn't watching. Their moves will reveal them. Their hesitation will expose them. Their attempts to reach you will become their downfall. You are not being tricked. You are being taught. You are not being cornered. You are being carved out from corruption. Watch the hour. Watch the signs. Within 72 hours, truth will rise. The veil will tear. What was hidden in politeness will erupt in awkward tension. What was sweet in public will become sour in private. Don't mislabel the discomfort. It is divine. God is breaking the illusion before the enemy launches his conclusion. We still. Stay awake. Something is unraveling. And you will see it. Type I receive the warning in the comments. Blessing code 777 is shielding your steps. Be still now. Do not rush past this moment. Do not let your emotions speak louder than your discernment. Archangel Michael is standing before you, not to fight for you alone, but to teach you how to fight through silence. For in this hour, silence is your sharpest sword. Quiet is your clearest shield. Your stillness is not passivity, it is strategic protection. The enemy has been studying your reactions. Heaven is now calling you into secrecy. Don't pose. Don't call. Don't explain. Don't argue. Don't seek to correct the lies whispered behind your back. Don't clarify your position to the ones who chose to misunderstand you. Your explanation is unnecessary in a war where heaven holds the evidence. Let your prayers say what your mouth cannot. Let your discernment do what your words will only complicate. This is not about being weak. It is about being wise. There are angels moving faster when you move less. The more silent you remain, the more heaven surrounds your name. The Spirit says, you win this round through withdrawal. Not abandonment, not defeat, but strategic retreat. Heaven is hiding you in plain sight. You are being removed from visibility so that the weapons formed against you will never find their target. This is divine cloaking. The enemy will swing and miss because he won't know where you've gone. That's how heaven works, hidden in holiness. You need to begin each day with this. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Declare it. Whisper it. Write it on your mirror. Pray it into your pillow. Let your environment hear it until your atmosphere shifts. You're not speaking to others. You're speaking to spirits. You're speaking to fear. You're speaking to every invisible arrow aimed at your peace. And when you do, the atmosphere around you will recalibrate to divine frequency. Michael surrounds your name with light. He is not fighting alone. He is commanding. There are assignments dispatched to confuse your enemies, disrupt their networks, and cancel their plans before they ever reach your ears. But your role is obedience. Your part is stillness. Your weapon is withdrawal. Stillness is not weakness. It is heavenly confidence. It is a holy refusal to entertain chaos. When you go silent, you give God room to speak. When you step back, you give angels space to move. This is not a demotion. It is divine preservation. The reason you feel isolated is because heaven has pulled you into consecration. You're being consecrated in secret so you can be celebrated in the Spirit. Do not underestimate what your silence is shaking in the realm of darkness. Every time you choose prayer over petness, you strike a spiritual blow. Every time you choose worship over worry, you disturb a demonic agenda. Every moment you choose stillness over strife, heaven records it as obedience, and obedience always brings victory. The next time you feel like speaking up, pause. Breathe. Listen. What if silence is the exact spiritual move that defeats what words would only feed? What if God is waiting to reward your discipline? This war won't be won through volume. It will be won through vision. Stay low. Stay sharp. Stay silent. The less you react, the more God reveals. You are being elevated by restraint, rewarded by discretion, crowned through self-control. Michael's wings are over your decisions now. Trust the silence, for in the stillness, your victory is being written. Type "I choose stillness" in the comments. Blessing code 888 is surrounding your decisions. Let them look. Let them wonder. Let them whisper. For they do not realize what your silence has been doing. They thought your stillness meant defeat. They mistook your retreat as retreat from the fight, not understanding it was a retreat into divine transformation. While they were watching your movements, God was upgrading your spirit. While they were expecting your collapse, heaven was scripting your comeback. Archangel Michael speaks with commanding certainty. They underestimated who you've become in silence. You are no longer who they remember. The version of you they wounded no longer exists. A timid soul who tolerated toxicity, who tried to earn space in shallow hearts, who stayed silent out of fear, that person was buried in your last storm. What emerged was refined, recalibrated, resurrected in strength. You have grown, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. You didn't just survive the warfare. You absorbed the fire and turned it into fuel. And now, heaven has authorized your empowerment. Your enemies remember your past patterns, but they have no access to your present evolution. This is why their old tactics no longer work. This is why their manipulation falls flat. This is why their words don't sting the way they used to. You've outgrown their reach. You've outpaced their projections. And now, their confusion is the confirmation of your transformation. God let them forget your strength. God let them assume your silence meant surrender. God allowed them to speak prematurely about your downfall. Why? Because He was staging your emergence. He was allowing their opinions to anchor them in pride while He lifted you in glory. And now, what was meant to be your humiliation is about to become your platform. Their mockery has become the soil of your miracle. This attack was not random. It was strategic. It revealed who stayed and who strayed. It forced you to find your spiritual backbone and taught you how to sit with pain without letting it poison your purity. It forced you to confront the lies whispered in your ear and replace them with the truth written in the Word. This was never a moment of loss. It was the moment you stood in the fire and did not burn. You are not oppressed. You are being upgraded. Heaven hath been measuring your reaction to affliction. And now, your name is being brought before divine councils not as a victim but as a vessel. You are being marked for divine appointment, and those who thought they buried you are about to witness your unveiling. The cocoon season is ending. The wings are unfolding. Let them watch. Let them stare in confusion. Let them sit in the seat of the scornful. Because the more they watch, the more God will reveal that what they thought was over was only being hidden for a holy unveiling. You were not absent. You were in training. You were not forgotten. You were being fortified. What felt like abandonment was divine insulation. And now, the lion in you is roaring. The anointing has been activated. The warrior is awake. You're not passive anymore. You're positioned. You're not fearful anymore. You're focused. And nothing they say, nothing they scheme, nothing they attempt can unwrite what heaven has declared. You are rising. not as you were, but as who you were always called to be. This next chapter will require their permission. This next season doesn't need their applause. Your power does not come from proximity to man. It comes from alignment with God. And that alignment has been completed in silence. Type "I have risen" in the comments if you receive this word. Lesson code 444 is breathing over your destiny. Let it be declared from the high places of heaven and the hidden corners of your soul. This was never about them. Not their jealousy. Not their betrayal. Not their gossip. Not their attempts to delay you. It was never about them. It was always about you. Your unlocking. Your becoming. Your initiation into the next dimension of divine purpose. Archangel Michael releases it now with unshakable authority. You're entering your new level. All the warfare, all the pain, all the confusion. You weren't punishment, it was promotion. Heaven didn't allow the shaking to destroy you. Heaven allowed it to awaken you. There is something inside you, something powerful, something eternal, that required agitation before it could rise. That is why the opposition came. That is why the betrayal happened. That is why the confusion surrounded you. You were being initiated, not attacked. Their opposition was permission. Heaven allowed their rejection as confirmation that your identity was changing. You didn't lose connection, you outgrew corruption. You didn't lose people. You graduated from the version of you they were allowed to access. This is the hidden truth. Promotion often looks like isolation. God breaks you away before He brings you into. And now, you stand at the edge of breakthrough, not by accident, but by appointment. Michael says, the reason this shook you is because it was your portal. Yes, you wept. Yes, you questioned. But that pressure, it cracked something open. The version of you that heaven hath been waiting for was always locked inside. A betrayal was the key. The heartbreak was a habit. A confusion was a chisel. And now, the unveiling begins. This is divine initiation, not emotional sabotage. You are not a victim of emotional manipulation. You are a candidate for spiritual mastery. God is not breaking your heart. He is molding your character. He is shaping your responses. He is testing your silence, proving your faith, aligning your vision. This is what promotion feels like in the spirit. It feels like pressure. It feels like loss. It feels like unraveling. And yet, through it all, you are being rebuilt from the inside out. Your name is echoing now in realms they cannot access. Demons recognize it. Angels guard it. Heaven has inscribed it in books sealed before time. You are not just surviving. You are being sanctified. The power forming within you cannot be faked. The oil on your life is not borrowed. This is your mantle. This is your authority. And nothing they've said, nothing they've schemed, nothing they've done can reverse what God has now activated. Let them speculate. Let them question. Let them assume you've been quiet because you're broken. But what they don't know is that while you've been silent, heaven's been loud. There's been thunder over your name. There's been angelic activity in your atmosphere. There's been a shift in your timeline. And now, you're not entering a new chapter. You're stepping into a new book. This is not a continuation. This is a coronation. You're not the same. You won't respond the same. You won't think the same. Your elevation demands new posture, new discipline, new language. And heaven has already begun reprogramming your instincts. You are becoming heaven's answer to earthly confusion. You are becoming the very breakthrough someone else is praying for. What once broke you now builds others through you. That's how heaven works. It turns wounds into weapons and silence into strategy. If this message has ignited something in your spirit, consider sowing a super chat, super thanks, or a $10 gift of support. Every offering helps us keep delivering the words and warnings that prepare the remnant. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the support here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Subscribe for spiritual insight, divine strategy, and prophetic clarity sent directly to your spirit. The next revelation awaits. Type "I am unlocked" in the comments if this speaks to you. Blessing code 999 is opening your next realm. Heaven is no longer whispering. Heaven is roaring. The silence has been broken, and now the time has come to declare it with boldness. Yes. This is your moment of destiny activation. Not later. Not next season. Not when conditions are perfect. Now. The Spirit of the living God has waited for your surrender, and now the divine clock has struck your hour. Say it out loud. Say it in faith. Say it with power. I accept my calling and my covering. Archangel Michael stands as witness and guardian as you shift from being pursued by your past into being pulled by your purpose. This moment is not small. This is the hinge upon which the next season of your life turns. Heaven is not asking you to understand it all. He's asking you to say yes. This yes unlocks access. This yes breaks curses. This yes realigns everything that felt scattered. Your yes isn't just a word, it's a weapon. The enemy tried to wear you down before you could speak it. That's why the warfare has been relentless. That's why your sleep has been broken, your emotions stretched, your peace disrupted. But what the enemy failed to consider is that your endurance was proof you were ready. Every battle was a prophecy in disguise. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment was pointing to this very gate, the gate of destiny. And now, the door is swinging open before you. You are the answer someone else is praying for. You are the voice someone else needs to hear. You are the light that will shatter another's confusion. But heaven could not release your next until you released your resistance. God could not trust you with influence while you were still negotiating your identity. That's why He allowed the stripping. That's why He permitted the silence. You had to say yes with nothing to gain, only faith to hold. And now, the activation has begun. Say yes, even if you're trembling. Say yes, even if you feel unqualified. Say yes, even if your past tries to speak up. The God who called you has already factored in your failures. The one who appointed you already anointed you. This assignment is not based on perfection. It is rooted in obedience. What was meant to silence you is now birthing your sound. What was meant to isolate you is now fueling your revelation. You will no longer speak from theory. You will speak from scars turned into signs. Heaven will place your name on hearts you've never met, on platforms you've never pursued, in rooms you never expected to enter. Because your yes has made you available, and availability is heaven's currency. But hear this. With destiny comes demand. With calling comes conflict. And that's why Michael stands now with sword drawn, not to fight your battles alone, but to guide you into a realm where you know how to fight. This is your official induction into prophetic authority. Your yes has unlocked your mantle. You don't need to feel ready. You need to trust that God is. Your voice is needed. Your perspective is needed. Your anointing is needed. Stop second-guessing the doors. They wouldn't open if they weren't yours. Michael declares, "Rise now, for your sound is required in this hour." Others are waiting on the sound that comes only from your journey. Others will be healed through the story you tried to hide. What nearly broke you will now build many. You've crossed over. The chains didn't break you. They trained you. The tears didn't drown you. They baptized you. And now, you walk not just with words, but with weight. The oil has settled. The light is glowing. The heavens are in agreement. Destiny hath been activated. Type I accept my yes in the comments if this word is yours. Lesson code 1010 is unlocking every closed door. Close your eyes and understand this divine mystery. While you sleep, something sacred is happening. The Spirit of God has entered the courts of heaven with your name. While you rest in the natural, your spirit is being spoken of in the supernatural. This is the silent exchange. Invisible transaction. The holy agreement made without your voice, but with your surrender. Archangel Michael now reveals what has been happening behind the veil. Your name is being mentioned in light. You thought nothing was happening. You thought the silence meant stagnation. But while the world around you was quiet, the realm of angels was in full motion. Angels have been dispatched. Scrolls have been opened. Records have been reviewed. Heaven has examined your tears, your silence, your restraint, and the decision is being made. Your season is shifting. Not because you shouted, not because you fought, but because you stayed. There is a divine reversal happening unseen by man. There is a recalibration in your favor. What they hoped would block you is now being multiplied in your absence. The very gates they tried to close are now being pried open by forces they cannot fight. You did not see the meeting. You did not hear the exchange. But heaven has traded your pain for power, your sorrow for strategy, your weakness for wisdom. You must understand the language of silence. Silence is not God's absence. It is heaven's strategy. When you felt overlooked, you were being observed. When you felt forgotten, you were being preserved. The silence you endured was the ground on which God was laying the foundation for what's next. You were not being ignored. You were being positioned for a silent transaction that changes everything. The angels did not come to fight this time. They came to restore. They didn't need to swing swords. They came to deliver scrolls, to drop divine blueprints, to rearrange your spiritual economy. You will begin to feel it before you see it. You will wake up lighter. You'll think clearer. You'll speak with more weight. You'll walk with unusual peace. That's how you know the transaction is complete. Your obedience has been accepted as currency. Your silence has been stamped with divine approval. Michael says this. You felt it before you saw it. A heavy dream. That strange moment of peace in the middle of your storm. A deep sigh you didn't understand. That wasn't emotional. That was spiritual evidence of movement. You sensed it before the shift occurred in time. You experienced the ripples of heavenly motion before your natural world caught up. That's how prophetic people live. They feel what's happening in realms others deny exist. Sleep now. Not in passivity, but in trust. Rest not because you are weak, but because heaven is strong. You are no longer responsible for forcing your next season. That responsibility now belongs to the angels moving on your behalf. This is what it means to walk under divine covering. When you lay your head down, warfare continues in silence, and victory is being written in realms unseen. You've been traded. Heaven has made a deal that favors you, not because you earned it, but because you endured. And now, every tear has become a seed. Every delay has become dew. Every heartbreak has become holy information heaven is using to frame your future. The exchange is done. The silence was loud in heaven. And your name is now echoing in divine chambers. Type I receive the exchange in the comments. Blessing code 1212 is now confirming the heavenly reversal. Justice is not a theory in heaven. It is a law. It is a rhythm. It is a verdict that does not miss its mark. Archangel Michael now stands as both witness and executor of divine justice, and he speaks this with fire. Every seed of sabotage is returning to its sower. You don't need revenge. You don't need rebuttals. You don't need a courtroom when you serve a king who never loses a case. What was sown in secrecy will be harvested in the open. God is not blind. God is not delayed. The timing of heaven is not slow. It is strategic. Your name has been dragged, mocked, misunderstood, and maligned, but the Lord kept the record. Not one lie escaped his scroll. Not one manipulation slipped past his angels. And now, the justice you thought would never arrive is at your door. Zoli, Julie, divinely. The scales are tipping in your favor. You were never overlooked, you were observed. You were not forsaken, you were being formed. And now that your formation is complete, now that your posture has remained humble, God says, now I will speak for you. You will not have to defend yourself. Your harvest will do that. Your results will do that. Your peace will silence your accusers better than your words ever could. They thought they got away with it. That conversation behind closed doors. That sabotage dressed up in concern. That slander cloaked in advice. But what they didn't know is that heaven doesn't forget. Heaven doesn't erase evidence. It preserves it until the right moment. And now, the gavel of justice is falling. The same trap they set for you, they will walk into. The same snare they hoped would derail you, it will bind their progress instead. This is not about revenge. This is about reversal. This is about the justice of the Lord, who restores all things, not just in spirit, but in visibility. Public wounds are being healed by public vindication. What humiliated you will now honor you. What stripped you will now surround you with favor. What was meant for evil is now God's elevator. You are being lifted by what was meant to break you. Michael speaks again. God is shifting your name from target to testimony. Yes, your name. The same name they whispered in criticism, in envy, in sarcasm. He is now placing it on scrolls of favor. Your name is being written into opportunities you didn't apply for, into platforms you didn't campaign for, into territories you didn't even pray for. Because justice in heaven doesn't just remove pain, it restores power. Watch how the reversal begins. Quietly. At first, then suddenly. Unexpected favor. Miraculous timing. Divine compensation. Relationships you lost begin to be replaced with true covenant connections. Places you were rejected from suddenly open their doors. People who mocked you now watch in stunned silence as the glory of the Lord covers you like a mantle. That's what reversal looks like when God is the one writing it. This is not karma. This is kingdom. This is not payback. This is prophecy fulfilled. God said he would prepare a table before you in the presence of your enemies, not their absence. Why? Because vindication is not for your ego, it's for his glory. He is showing them that the one they tried to curse was the one he always called blessed. And nothing they say now can undo what God has already spoken. The record is sealed. The matter is settled. Justice has kissed mercy, and the result is your restoration. Stand still. Watch the scales tip. You are not cursed. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are now the evidence that heaven answers. If this word is confirming what you already felt in your spirit, consider dropping a super thanks or a gift of $10. Your support helps us continue to release messages like these, with clarity and fire, to those who need them most. Also, if you'd like to support what we do, you can make a difference by donating through the Support Here link in the description of this video. Every contribution helps us keep creating and sharing more with you. Be sure to subscribe for ongoing insight, spiritual strategy, and prophetic guidance sent directly into your atmosphere. This is just the beginning. Type "Justice is mine" in the comments. Blessing code 1313 is now restoring what was lost. Now breathe. Breathe in the weight of this truth. You have been seen. Not just by man, not just by angels, but by the very eyes of the Most High. You have been heard. Every whispered prayer, every midnight tear, every unspoken plea, heaven recorded them all. And above all, you have been preserved for purpose. Archangel Michael now releases the closing affirmation. You are sealed. You are sent. You are shielded. This moment is not about survival. It is about release. You are no longer walking with your head low. You are no longer second-guessing the instruction. You are no longer asking, "Is it really me?" Because now you know, it was always you. You were always the one set apart. You were always the one called in silence, shaped in struggle, and chosen in secret. And now, that choosing is being declared publicly. Your next step is surrounded by fire. Not the fire of destruction, but the fire of divine protection. The kind of fire that blocks demonic interference, that burns off every residual fear, that clears the path ahead even when you don't know what's coming next. Michael walks before you, not to be worshipped, but to war. He goes to announce your arrival in spaces that once rejected you. Peace is returning to you, sevenfold. Not temporary peace, but lasting, soul-deep, heart-securing peace. The kind of peace that cannot be interrupted by text messages, or broken by rumors, or shaken by circumstances. This peace is a divine signature. It says heaven has approved. The season has shifted. The hand of God is on this one. Nothing formed against you shall touch your calling. And nothing whispered against you will block your rising. You are untouchable in the spirit. Not because you are perfect, but because you are covered. You are wrapped in a glory that came through fire. You are held by a covenant that hell cannot break. And now, all of heaven is echoing the declaration. Rise in glory. Walk in fire. Speak in boldness. Move in grace. This is your commissioning. You're not leaving this message the same. You are now walking with a new name in the Spirit. You are now carrying divine instructions. You are now operating under fresh oil. This is not a nice word. It is a spiritual shift. Your atmosphere has changed. Your footing hath been secured. Your mantle has descended. Stand tall. Speak boldly. Love fiercely. Forgive freely. Walk knowing that angels surround your every step. That heaven responds to your obedience. That your surrender has unlocked generational blessings. That what starts with you will echo into those who come after you. You are the turning point. You are the breaker of chains. You are the light bearer, the curse reverser, and glory carrier. Now go. Go not in fear, but in faith. Go not in confusion, but in clarity. Go knowing you have been divinely affirmed. Archangel Michael has delivered the message. Heaven has sealed the outcome. Your next has already begun. Type I am sealed in the comments if you receive this final word. Blessing code 1414 is now escorting you into new realms.